Hey guys, what's going on? This is Andrew here today, and I figured now would be a good time just to show off some of the stuff that I got from Gamestop within the past month, because I've gotten a decent amount of stuff in the past month, and I felt like it would be a really cool time just to show some of you guys what I got. So it is worth noting that I am going all digital for the month of April, as I mentioned in my last video, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy the games, because I am going to eventually play them. So right now, the only console that I'm not going all digital on is the Switch and the DS for shiny hunting, but everything else is all digital, although everything right here is obviously a physical game. So like I said, let's just get into doing this and talking about what I got. So I might as well start off with the biggest thing that I got in this entire lot, and that was the PS5 Digital Edition system. So I know I am a physical game collector, so getting something like this is a little weird, but I am still a hardware collector as well, so I figured it would be a really cool thing to add to my collection as a secondary PS5. Plus, it was definitely one of the systems that I wanted to give myself the all digital experience. So as I mentioned before, I'm doing an all digital month for the month of April, and I figured since I have a Series X and a PS5 with the disc drive, it might tempt me to go backwards. So instead, I got myself a digital PS5, and I also have a Series S. So currently, I have my Series X and my PS5 disc version unplugged, and this one plugged in for that entire digital month. So I got this thing at GameStop, got it in the bundle with this nice SSD that I'm going to put in my main PS5, and I really feel like it was a complete steal because it also came with a year of PlayStation Plus, and even though everything altogether was for regular retail value, it still felt like a really good bundle for me to go for, since that's the kind of typical stuff I probably would have gotten if I were to have gotten a PS5 in a bundle from GameStop to begin with. So yeah, GameStop is still selling stuff in bundles, so I did spend around $700, but I still feel like my money was well justified, and I'm definitely going to keep this PS5, regardless of if it's not used nearly as much as my disc PS5. Alright, so moving on to the games, the first one that I'm going to show off is Pokemon Pearl for the DS, and yes, this is actually a legit copy of the game. I did multiple checks of it just to make sure that it was real. I did the little test to see that it was reflective. I looked on the back to make sure that the text was correct. I made sure that on the front everything was right, and on top of that, the thing isn't in the greatest condition, so that usually is an amazing indicator that it is a real one, because games that are 15 years old are supposed to look somewhat beat up as this. So I decided to get it there at the GameStop once it came off a trade hold, and immediately after I figured out it was real is when I decided to pick it up. So, funny enough, we also have a Pokemon Platinum game that's on hold that I made sure was real that is eventually going to be mine. And at the old location that I used to work at, they have Pokemon Diamond on hold for me in the original case in really, really good condition. So I'm trying to get the rest of the DS games that I used to have as a child, because basically I sold them all when I was about 11 or 12, so it was very upsetting for me to do that, because now I want all the games back, and I'm doing just that, getting all the games back. After getting Diamond and Platinum, the last game that I'm going to be missing is White 2, and that would be a full DS complete collection for Pokemon, and then I'm just going to have to go back and get the rest of the GBA ones, such as Fire Red and Leaf Green, because I already have Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and then I need to go all the way back to the Game Boy and Game Boy Color stuff and rebuy that stuff as well. So yeah, I got Pokemon Pearl, a nice first step, and I'm very excited to get the rest. So next up, we have probably my second most anticipated game of the year, and that one was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So I have played a decent amount of this game so far. I think, honestly, it's mediocre at best. I thought it was going to be a lot better, because when I saw the trailers and the gameplay and just some other stuff, it gave me a Mario Odyssey kind of vibe. And when I was expecting a 3D game, I was expecting something where the camera controls would be as if it was like a 3D game, but no. Basically, as soon as you move that right joystick, it wants you to recenter it back to where it was, because it shifts you away from the camera, and I don't like that. It kind of reminds me of being back on the GameCube or N64 or something along those lines, or even as early as or as late as the Wii is, I should say. So I was hoping for a little bit more of a 3D experience compared to what I got, but that's not saying I don't like the game. I actually do love this game, but I feel like I expected a little more out of it than what I got, and that's why I'm a little disappointed. Not a bad game by any means, just I feel like they could have executed it just a little bit better, and it would have probably earned a 10 out of 10 from my perspective if it were to have been that way. So yeah, like I said, pretty solid game, just didn't meet my expectations. So for my most anticipated game of the year, right here we have LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now, I actually got the deluxe edition, but what happened was after I had already finished the transaction, me and my coworker looked in the drawer to see that it wasn't there, which means that the day prior that the game came out, I actually called out because I wasn't feeling too good. So when they were selling the copies of the games to people, they accidentally gave like 1 or 2 deluxe editions to the people that pre-ordered the standard, and kind of like vice versa in certain situations. So I ended up being the one that was out of luck because my deluxe edition was accidentally given out. So basically I made a deal with my boss and was like, hey, so since you accidentally gave away my deluxe edition, can I borrow the standard edition? Because GameStop employees are allowed to borrow games. I basically made a deal, was like, hey, can I borrow the standard edition until we get more deluxe editions so I can actually have my copy? So scenario right now is that I am borrowing this game, and I've played a decent amount of it so far, but like I said, I still am waiting on my deluxe edition. So this was my most anticipated game of the year, and it absolutely was not anywhere close to what I was expecting, and in a bad way. So I appreciate that they went into a whole new direction with this game, where they didn't just copy and paste everything from like the older games, kind of like a lot of developers do now. This game is much, much different than the original LEGO Star Wars games, and so much to where I wanted to revisit it, and I don't feel like I'm revisiting the game at all. I feel like I'm playing a new experience, and an experience that kind of feels like a downgrade compared to what I played before. It is very open world based, and I feel like once I get to the part where I'm free playing everything, I'm probably going to enjoy it a lot, but playing through it in like a campaign kind of story way is making it to where I'm getting a bit frustrated. I feel like the level design of the original LEGO Star Wars games were a lot better, where this one is kind of straightforward and you get to the end in seconds, plus it holds your hand the entire way. I feel like the level sequences are way too short, to the point of where I handed my girlfriend the controller because we played the game on day 2, and she was able to get to the end of the level and has barely held a controller in her life. So I was very pissed off to begin with, and then I especially got pissed once I got to the pod racing section and there was no challenge to it at all like it used to be. And then I just got pissed at a lot of other of the levels, and I'm already up to Revenge of the Sith now, but I'm still highly disappointed in the game. I know a lot of people really, really love this game, and I honestly don't see why, because I don't see the fun in it compared to the old LEGO games, but I mean, people can have their own opinion. I have mine, and my opinion is that I really don't like this game that much. I feel like it could have been a lot better, and I honestly kind of almost feel like I would have rather had a copy and paste with better graphics and just slight upgrades to the game compared to what we got here, but we're probably never going to get something like that. Well, we will never get something like that, but I can only dream. At least this game did come out and a lot of people are enjoying it. I feel like they did do a good job on the game. It's just not the type I was looking for, and I am very disappointed about it. So without further ado, let's look at the next game. So this one is pretty interesting. I pretty much jumped on the pre-order train a few weeks before the game came out, and that one was Ghostwire Tokyo. So I feel like this game is highly underrated on the list of games that were coming out this year. I didn't really hear a lot of people talking about it. I didn't really hear anybody hyped up about it, and in fact, I was the only one at my location that actually had a pre-order on this game. There were 2 other people that had the deluxe editions, but then again, that's only 3 of us compared to the hundreds that we got for Kirby and hundreds that we've gotten for Pokemon. So very low number of people cared about this game, but popping this game in my PS5, honestly, this is one of my favorite games of this year already. I feel like this is one of those games that's always going to be under the radar, but it is one of those games that I feel like in the next 20 years, I'll go back and consider this a hidden gem, because it really is good. It reminds me a lot of it kind of gives me like a Bioshock kind of vibe, while also giving me a slight kind of hint of Infamous in there as well. Hard to kind of explain that, but I really do love the way that the game plays. It also gives me a little bit of the Spider-Man PS4 edition experience, because with the kind of characters that are kind of like ghosts, it gives me that kind of vibe. So it honestly is a really cool game to me, and I'm going to keep playing it. And once I'm done with this all digital month, I'm going back to playing this game and hopefully playing through as much of it as I can, if not finishing it. But last game I was talking about is an odd game to have in this lot of things, considering I already have the Skywalker Saga. That would be LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens on the Wii U. So you guys are probably wondering why I got this game when considering I already have the Skywalker Saga. Well, it's a cheap price Wii U game, and I'm starting to expand on my Wii U collection quite a bit. Before I started collecting in the past 3 months, I think I was only down to like 3 or 4 games on there, and I went up to about 14 to 15 now, I think. So I am starting to expand on the collection more. Plus, I love all the LEGO Star Wars games. I played this one on PS4 with my brother back when he had his PS4 and the game. He sold all his games and his PS4, so we no longer have a copy. Well, now I officially have another copy, and actually, I think I also have this game on PC as well, if I remember correctly. So I guess I just wanted to expand my Wii U collection. I saw it was only $10, and I figured I'd jump gun and just buy the game right there. I was running an errand for my other GameStop. Basically what happened was sometimes when we don't have stuff in stock, we check other stores to see if they have it, and we'll do a simple store transfer of an item from one store to the other. And since I live closer to the other one, I was on my way back from covering another store, and I picked up the item and then saw that they had a really nice catalog of Wii U and 360 games at my old store. Saw this, picked it up, and here we are now with a $10 Wii U game that I'm more than likely going to enjoy the hell out of since, well, I love the Wii U and I love LEGO Star Wars. So anyway, guys, that is everything that I got within this past month and more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I personally think I got some pretty cool stuff in this, so I'm not going to be playing a majority of the stuff besides Pokemon Pearl, because what's happening is I'm doing all digital for everything but the Switch and the DS, considering, well, you can't go digital on the original DS. And when it comes to the Switch, I'm a major shiny hunter now. I'm starting to get a lot more into it, so I need my Diamond and Pearl cartridge. I'm not just going to buy a whole nother digital copy of Diamond and Pearl. So, yeah, guys, that's everything for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next one.